Hi there, welcome to the latest episode of my 10-minute moan. And the topic of this 10-minute moan is the accident, we'll call it, in London on Tuesday that not many people are talking about. And a very, very unusual thing that I've spotted with the reporting on this that I think's a bit strange. Now, this is about the van that killed a young girl of 20 years of age, a student from the King's College London, which the accident happened right outside it. And there's a reason that it's very, very close to me. 14 hours earlier, on the Monday, I walked that street. I was in that area for a political event in the London School of Economics Hong Kong Theatre, which is on Aldwych, which is like an arch. You have the Strand that runs straight, and it's a sort of crescent, Aldwych, that runs round it. I was going to one of the first buildings in Aldwych. I passed the building hours before the meeting time, found a Starbucks just to the north of where this accident happened, get fed up drinking tea in Starbucks, and thought I'll just wander round slowly to the event and get myself comfortable. So I walked back down to Aldwych, walked right round the whole perimeter, and walked past where this accident happened a mere 14 hours earlier. And I remember thinking, that's odd, because the Strand I thought was a big main thoroughfare, but that particular bit of it had bollards and it was pedestrianised and the traffic was going round the crescent of Aldwych. I'm not sure when that was, started being a thing, but that particular bit right outside the old Strand Underground station, which is like boarded up but still got all the signage, literally feet away from where this accident happened, and I walked that street on that exact piece of turf 14 hours previously. So when the news came through the next day, I was shocked and obviously interested in the story. And unfortunately, one girl has lost her life. Another student was taken to hospital at one point life-threatening, but thankfully not life-threatening anymore. And another student who I think from memory was a male, he has since been released from hospital yesterday. So it looks like the toll will unfortunately be one, but will not rise as it could have done yesterday. And there's just something about this that just, it makes me think, what's going on here? So the man who was driving the van has been arrested. The police have told us within an hour and a half of the incident that it wasn't terror related, which I think is quite odd. And the reason for that is, and I'll just use the newspaper, The Express. Now, they wrote this story and it went live at 13:17. So if you manage to get a journalist to write a story, get it on the internet and load it up for 13:17, then obviously that information that the Matthew Dooley, the deputy news editor, put onto this story would need to have been given to him previous to that. Not how long it would take him to physically write the story, get all the facts together, and get it to whoever puts it online, but it wouldn't be instant. So you've got to bear that in mind. So this story went live, not written, at 1:17. And in this story, if I've scrolled down to the important bit, it tells us a lot of details about it. And it says, the Metropolitan Police statement said the police are on the scene dealing with a collision close to the Strand WC2. Officers were called at 11:41. The story went live at so call it 1:15, right? 11:45. It's an hour and a half. And the guy that wrote the story obviously had the information beforehand. Now, the police took the call at that time, so they wouldn't have been on the scene at that time, but they would have been on the scene, I would hope, but being in London pretty damn quickly, within minutes, right? 3 pedestrians suffered injuries. A woman in her 20s sadly pronounced dead at the scene. 2 pedestrians have been taken to hospital. One has potentially life-threatening injuries, but I believe that's been lowered now, thankfully. And another has minor injuries, who's since left hospital. The driver, now this is the bit that gets me. The driver of the van, a 26-year-old man, was arrested at the scene on suspicious of causing death by careless driving and driving with a concentration of specified controlled drug above the specified limit. Now, I find that bizarre. Now, what that actually means in real terms, I'm not 100% sure. I think when it says a specified controlled drug, that would be something that you were given on a prescription basis, but ate too much. Whether it's painkillers, sleeping tablets, antidepressants, God knows, right? That isn't that important. But what is important is that within an hour and a half's window, now that hour and a half isn't the window from them finding out telling the police, because it would have taken them time to get there. It would have taken them time to get hold of the guy. It would have taken them time to decide what they were charging him with and then actually physically charge him. So that takes a bit of time. How much time? I don't know. Could it be half an hour? Could it be an hour? I don't know. Might be longer. But within an hour and a half of that accident happening, this newspaper were able to print this story or publish this story and put it online. And I don't know about you, but I kind of find that odd. That they've been able to... But here's the thing. Here's the other kicker, right? They've been able to tell us his age, what he's been charged with. It wasn't a terror-related incident. And he had a concentration of specified controlled drugs above the specified limit. But didn't name him. They've not found his name out. Or obviously they have. They just decided that that's not going to be put out. And I just find this is a bit convenient, if I'm being perfectly honest with you. And the other thing is, if you maybe missed me saying it at the start, that area has got bollards at each end of it. So it must have been the biggest coincidence to occur an accident to get through all of that. And it must have been really obvious that this man was A, on a prescribed drug, and B, you knew what concentration it was to take of this controlled drug, and C, that he was above the limit. All in that time scale. 1 hour and 30 minutes from getting the call, there's been an accident, to a newspaper getting all that information. Well, the police, first of all, coming up with all that information, getting it to a newspaper, and a newspaper to publish that 1.5 hours later. Now, maybe I'm just being sceptical. Maybe this is normal. But again, it's one of these cases that there's not that many people talking about it, which I'm talking about it and I'm interested in it just purely because I was standing on that exact same bit of pavement 14 hours previous. And that's just doesn't sit well with me at all, but for the grace of God, right? If my meeting was the Tuesday, no the Monday, I'd have been in that area maybe at that time. Depends how my day had went. But, so I've obviously got an interest and a keen interest in the story. And so you just go, how many other odd things happen? Now, listen, I'm prepared to accept that maybe sound a bit conspiratorial here. I get that, I understand that. And there might be some really obvious reasons how all this information could end up published in a newspaper in such a tight time scale. I can't figure it out. And if anybody does, and anybody has got any proper information as to why that would work, then please educate me. I'm all ears. That's why I've got 2 of these and 1 of these. And although I do talk a lot, I use these more because I've got 2 of them. I was giving them in that ratio for a reason. But I just think the coincidental things there with the van getting in. I just don't even know how to get there because there's big heavy bollards. You've seen it when the footage started coming that they'd lowered 2 big red ones and they were letting the ambulances and the police in, and then the police cordoned it off again. And you'll see that they're a waist high, a good foot and a half diameter, big solid red metal bollards. And I'm guessing the reason it could drive through is there was some of them lowered. And there's a lot of these in London. They've got them all over the place, and the ones that sort of oval-shaped ones as well. When I started my day, I went first of all to Parliament and made a video there, and these type of bollards, these oval ones, were all over the place. So you sort of get used to seeing them. And on my right hand side, as I was walking past that where the accident happened, I just remember seeing the billboards advertising, you know, some success stories with students. And then next to that, there was the old underground that's unused anymore, and it's all sort of, they made it sort of pretty, and you know, they're still celebrating. It's an old subway station. I think it says Piccadilly line from some memory. And that was right there. That was right there where that accident happened. And bollards either side there. Yeah, a van somehow get in there. And one young girl is unfortunately dead. And it just doesn't sit well with me at all. So if you enjoyed the video, please give it a thumbs up. If you've not already done so, please hit the subscribe and the notifications bell for the channel. And give me your comments, please, down below. If you get any other theories you find it odd, you can help me figure out, you know, why this maybe happens within an hour and a half. But that just doesn't sit well with me at all. And you know, just let me know, comments to use opinions. Absolutely fantastic. But the most important thing of all, unless you're the type of people who can get all that information together and leave me wondering why, then no you. But
everyone else, have a great day. Cheerio, bye now.